Emma loved vintage treasures, and one autumn afternoon, she discovered a peculiar mask in a dusty corner of the velvet attic, an antique shop she frequented. The mask was beautifully carved, with eyes painted so vividly they seemed almost alive. Its mouth was frozen in a chilling grin, drawing her in like a siren's call. "What's the story with this?" Emma asked the elderly shopkeeper. He gave her a stern look. That mask belonged to Lena Marceau, a performer whose life ended tragically. She wore it in every performance, believing it brought her charm and fame. But it did more than that. It became part of her. Emma was captivated. "I'll take it." The shopkeeper hesitated. "Be warned, it has a way of holding on to its wearer." Emma brushed off his warning, attributing it to old shop flair. Later, at home, she slipped the mask on, admiring her reflection. As soon as it touched her face, a strange energy washed over her. Memories, ones she didn't recognize, flooded her mind. Bright stage lights, the rush of applause, the excitement of adoring fans. She saw herself, but it wasn't her on that stage. It was Lena. Her pulse quickened. When she tried to take the mask off, it clung to her skin, tightening. Panicked, she tugged harder, but it was as though the mask had melded with her face. She could barely breathe, her voice muffled and foreign. Then, in the mirror, she saw a young woman's face with hollow eyes, a haunting image of Lena herself. The days that followed were a fog. Emma couldn't shake Lena's memories from her mind. Her own thoughts faded, replaced by Lena's emotions: desperation, betrayal, sadness. Friends noticed her change, the light in her eyes dimming. Haunted, she returned to the shop, the mask still clinging to her face. The shopkeeper sighed when he saw her. "It's bound to you, isn't it?" "What's happening to me?" Emma whispered, her voice almost a stranger's. The shopkeeper explained. Lena Marceau had been a star in the 1920s, adored and sought after until one night, she vanished. Rumor had it she'd spurned a powerful patron who wouldn't take no for an answer. Her spirit had remained trapped in the mask, longing to complete her story. Until her spirit found peace, Lena would continue to haunt anyone who wore it. To free herself, Emma had to finish Lena's story. She spent days researching Lena's final night and learned that she'd planned one last performance, determined to take control of her life and leave her dark past. But it had cost her everything. With newfound resolve, Emma returned to the shop one final time. The shopkeeper placed an old phonograph in front of her, letting Lena's last song fill the room. Emma surrendered to the haunting melody, her body moving as though guided by Lena herself. She felt Lena's emotions, determination, sadness, and a longing for freedom, as she gave a final bow, a silent release. As the song ended, Emma felt a weight lift from her, and the mask loosened. She slipped it off, her face her own once more. She handed it back to the shopkeeper, who took it with a solemn nod. As Emma left, she glanced back at the shop window and thought she saw a figure standing there. A peaceful Lena, finally at rest. The mask lay still and silent, its story complete, at least for now.